Have you ever been taped up before bed? Maybe strapped in before sleep? So for the last 5 years, I've been taping. And of course, I'm talking about taping my mouth. And while it isn't conducive to extracurricular activities in the bedroom, there are certainly benefits that I want to have a discussion about today. I also want to explore the risks, who it may be for, and what you need to know if you're curious about starting a mouth taping practice. Mouth taping is a tool. It's certainly not a requirement. And really what it does is it reinforces and helps habits that we already have. So the idea that we're going to tape our mouth shut and have a much better sleep is really not how it works. What mouth taping does is it enables us to enforce these habits while we're sub or unconscious while we're asleep. Why does mouth taping matter? Remember, it's about nasal breathing. And what does our nose do for us while we're using it to breathe? That low, slow, through the nose breath. So it's filtering, it's pressurizing, and it's humidifying that air for optimal reception in the lungs. It helps maintain our airway, and it reduces dryness in our mouth. It supports that parasympathetic dominant signal that we're trying to send to our body that gives us that state or enhanced state of relaxation, which is all very important when we're sleeping. And some of the risks associated with a dry mouth is increased cavities, the inflammation of our gums, and bad breath. And remember, our saliva is antibacterial, and it's also remineralizing. So our mouth was not designed to stay open while we're asleep. Certainly not for 6 to 9 hours, however long you're sleeping. So obviously with something like this, we want to cover the safety aspect. Who's it for? Certainly who's it's not for. And if you have challenges breathing nasally during the day, certainly don't try this at night. If you have a lot of congestion, I would certainly not recommend it. If you have untreated sleep apnea, then using mouth taping would not be for you. It's important to remember the signal we're trying to send our body is one of safety. And there is no doubt that putting tape over your mouth can certainly spark or activate a non-safe feeling both sub and unconsciously. So if you have any issues using your nose to breathe, generally speaking, the voyage or journey into mouth taping may be something you want to do slowly and maybe with a consultation of a physician. How do I go about starting, James, and what sort of mouth tape should I use? So there is a lot of different mouth tape, and when I first started, I used the actual mouth tape. And so this mouth tape really comes in 3 sort of different formats. There is mouth tape that fully closes the mouth, and you can buy, it's like a strip that you can put, and it fully closes the mouth. You can also buy a piece of mouth tape that is similar to that is somewhat porous, so that you're still able to breathe through your mouth. This is what I use. It's a surgical tape. It is not so sticky that it feels like you're waxing your lip every time you take it off. And I simply take a small piece and put it in the middle of my mouth so that I'm still able to breathe either side. Something like that. That's what my use of mouth tape looks like. And as you start this, you're probably going to find that you won't be wearing it when you wake up, or you'll want to feel like you want to take it off. There is certainly a work in progress here where you're going to practice using the mouth tape. But stick with it because the benefits can certainly be helpful. Remember, mouth taping isn't about restriction. It's about allowing your body what it was naturally designed to do. And so in our next conversation, I want to get into our nose, okay? We're going to talk about our nasal physiology because I always talk about low, slow through the nose. I want you to have a really good understanding of why it's important to use our nose as a primary breathing hole.